in this section of the PowerPoint, we're going to take a look at background images, inserting background images onto your web page. So we do this, of course, using CSS. Now the way that you add background image would be to use a URL here. So you would say, let's say for example, you want the body, which is a web page, to have the background image. You would say background image, background hyphen image, which is the property, and then the value would be the URL, and in brackets and then in quotations the file path. Now the file path is where some students might find this challenging. Maybe you're not sure what this means. So // means to get out of the folder that you're in to go up one directory, and then you will look for the images, and then you will look for .gif. Sorry, it should be .png. Let me change that here. So .png, but first we have to have this image here in the PNG. So you need to go and download it from Web Campus and then upload it into, or move it into your folder. So let me do that right now. Okay. So I have my Saffron folder, okay, and in images I need to put, I need to go put dots in Morocco. So those you can download from Web Campus folder. So now I have dots in Morocco, and don't worry, we'll take a look at both. So we're going to begin with dots. Okay, so the reason why you need /images in front of dots is because right now you are in the CSS folder. Okay, style.css is in the CSS folder. It needs to go grab this image. So it needs to go, is there .png here? No, there isn't, right? Is there an images folder in here? Nope. No images folder inside of the CSS folder. No .png file inside of the CSS folder. So you need to get out of this folder. You need to go up one directory. So how do I do that? Go up one directory. To tell it to go up one directory, you go .. That gets you out of the directory and goes up one directory. Now you're in the main directory here. But it's still not in here. There's no .png here. So you need to go into images. So therefore you have images. So go into images. And then now you can go .png. So that's why this file path / to get out of the CSS folder, okay, which brings you to the main directory here. And then you have to go into the images folder. That's why you write images. And then you select the file that you want, .png. Never save images in the CSS folder. Do not do that. All your images should be inside of the images folder. Anyway, let's go enter that code in here. So, and this is going to be in body, okay? So I don't really need the background color anymore, but I'll keep it in there. Okay, so background image, okay, and it's going to be URL, okay, and inside of URL I'm going to say .. to get me out of that folder, the CSS folder, and go into images folder and go to .png, okay, and then I'm going to go save it. Save all, and I'm going to go look in here. There we go. Now we have the .png repeating itself. Okay, this is actually repeating itself, and it might be kind of hard to see that it is repeating itself, but I'll show you how big dots is. It's just this big. Okay, so if I go to properties, so it's really only, okay, 600 by 340. Okay, so it's not being stretched out. It's in fact just tiling, just repeating. All right. So if you want it to not repeat, you say background repeat, no repeat. So let's go try that. Okay. So let's see what that looks like. Background, repeat, no repeat. Okay, file, save all. So if it doesn't repeat, you just get the one image, that one tile. You can also repeat it just across or just in a column, right? Repeat X or repeat Y. Let's try repeat X first. So background repeat X. File, save all. It just goes across the x-axis. So repeat y would be, it would go down as a column. Okay, let's go try that. Repeat y. And file, save all. Okay, let's go take a look. And now you can see that it repeats down the column. All right. So if you don't put anything at all, it's just repeat. Background repeat repeat is the default. Okay. Background repeat repeat. You can put it in there and it repeats, or you can leave it out, and that's the default, so it will repeat anyways. So it basically repeats unless you tell it not to. All right, so moving on, you can do background position if you want it to be in a certain spot. So if I go background repeat, no repeat, okay, no repeat, oops. Okay, so I'm just gonna save this, save all, and we end up with this, all right? But I don't want it to be in the top left corner, I want it to be somewhere else. Then you can change that position, okay? Now how we do that? You have two values, background position. So you can say X%, Y%. So the first value is the horizontal position, the second is the vertical. So the very top left-hand corner is the default. So if you don't say anything, then it's 0%, 0%. The very right-hand corner is 100%, 100%. So let's go background position. Background position. If I say 100%, 100%, okay, then that would be the bottom corner. Okay, so I'm just going to go File, Save All. Oh, that's actually the top right-hand corner. Should be 100%. Sorry about that, my bad. And if you go 50%, 50%, okay. File, Save All. Then it would be in the middle, okay? Here we go. All right, so let's move on to the next slide. Let me just get into my slideshow. So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so if you only specify one value, then the other value would be 50%, and the default value, like I said, is 0%, 0%, because it shows up at the top left corner, okay? Next is the background size. So you can determine the length. So it sets the width and the height of the background image. The first value sets the width and the second sets the height. If only one value is given for the length, then the second one is set to auto. You can also set the as a percentage, so it sets the width of the background image in terms of the percent of the parent element. You can also set it to cover the entire container, even if it has to stretch or the image or cut off part of it. So you can set the background image to cover, or you can set the background image to contain. Okay, so let's go play around with this a bit, but I'm not going to use the dots. I'm going to use the Morocco. Okay, so the Morocco.jpg. And that's two C's.jpg. Note that the file extension is extremely important. If you had saved it as a JPEG but JPEG, then you also have to write JPEG here. If you saved it as a JPEG, you must write JPEG, not as a PNG, and so on. So the extension name is extremely important. Okay, so I'm going to take out the repeating stuff. Actually, I'm going to leave in the no repeat, and I'm going to take out the background positions. Okay, so I'm going to save that. So now you have, go. So you can see that it doesn't quite cover the whole space, right? So what if I was to go background size cover? Okay, background size cover. I'm going to go File, Save All. So that should cover it. All right. Next, you can also try background size contain.